The Lions come out of bye break, but as you will find out, there wasn't much resting. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Small Town Society Franklin Football Show. Also brought to you by Walter Commander right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. As 2 weeks ago, you had Franklin up on Rockdale at half, 25-3, and seemingly on their way to another easy victory. Not say easy, but you know what I mean. And then Rockdale scores 12 in the second half and made it a closer game. Franklin still holds on to go to 2-0 in district, 25-15, but Coach Fannin was not happy. And he talks a lot about that. And to be honest with you, he is so fired up for this game against Troy. He's ready after having that bad taste. And by the way, as me and him talked about it, this shows you where your program is. When you have a bad taste, even after a district win, that's because the expectations and the lofty goals that Franklin now has every year. Winning by 10 against a solid district brethren is not good. You need to be preparing for more, especially in this district, especially with this run coming up to end the regular season with Troy. And Troy's no slouch. Lorena, Cameron Yo, and then Little Rivers Academy. By the way, Grant Goodwin and I have Sideline to Sideline. We talk 3A. We also talk 4A and 2A, but for this show, we want to tell you we talk 3A. We're going to be at that Little River Academy game. Cannot wait. We were there last year for Cameron Yo. We're going to be staying the night again in Franklin, enjoying some fine drinks after the game at the Franklin watering hole that everybody goes to. We're going to have a blast. But yeah, Coach Fannin, he is so fired up. I absolutely enjoy talking to him every week, but especially a week like this, to hear him and to hear him trying to figure out what they need to do to fix the problems. And they're big problems, but they're not major problems, and they're not widespread problems. It's simply penalties and turnovers at the worst time. And to hear him talking about how, they usually they would take the bye week and relax and rest up, but no, they went right at it like it was day one football practice. And I think you're going to see Franklin respond this week. But as always, we'll be talking to him. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, including our title sponsor, Small Town Society. You can find them online at shopsmalltownsociety.com. If you watch the show, Sideline to Sideline on video, you see the T-shirt that we have from them. They gave us 3 awesome T-shirts. I actually wear the field one on road trips. Grant's been wearing his. And then the other one we put up on the microphone arm. They have great game day wear for men and women. They have inspirational gear. They have holiday wear. I'm about to get my fiance one of the pumpkin in the cowboy hat or the skull in the cowboy hat. They have Texas gear that's really, really awesome. I love I'm a big fan of baby blue and teal, and they have a teal leopard and stripes women's shirt that I'm going to get my fiance that says TX on it, Texas. So yeah, you can check them out online at shopsmalltownsociety.com. You can also find them in Franklin at the Messy Nest Studio and Event Venue located at 204 Alley Street in Franklin. You can also find them, by the way, on Instagram, Messy Nest Studio, at Messy Nest Studio. Just give them a plug as well. We do appreciate them stocking Small Town Society. You can also find Messy Nest online at messynestfranklintexas.com. But we do appreciate that. And again, we appreciate Walter Commander. He's the person that stepped up and bought the first few weeks of the show. And we really appreciate him doing that. And plus, drinks around him when we come down there here in a few weeks. So we really, really do like Walter. And we do really love doing this show. And it's been a blast, and it's been fun. And I cannot wait for the playoffs, because this district's tough enough, but the playoffs is just going to be like the district times 2. But anyway, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, it's the head coach of the Lions, Coach Mark Fannin, right here on the Small Town Society Franklin Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. Terry Bennett back here on the Small Town Society Franklin Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Lions, Coach Mark Fannin. And, Coach, we didn't talk through the bye week, so let's go back a couple weeks. Let's talk Rockdale. Y'all win 25-15, but you weren't too happy about that game.
No, I wasn't. Props off to Rockdale. Coach Hammer's got those kids playing hard.
Yes.
You know, they play high effort, and they were out and played, you know, pretty high effort football for 4 quarters. You know, our defense once again played lights out. I say that every week we talk. They're playing really good football. Offensively, we're struggling, and we just can't get that rhythm going on offense. You know, it's penalties and turnovers are really killing us right now. That's a thorn in our side right now. And I talk to you guys about it every week. And
yep.
We're just not getting it fixed on Friday night. And last Friday, or Rockdale 2 Fridays ago when we played them, you know, we had 14 penalties. We put the ball on the ground 5 times. We just couldn't ever get clicking on offense. We'd be 1st and 20, you know, 2nd and 18, or, you know, we're already behind the chain. You know, we'd bust a run and we fumble. And, you know, it's just a very, very frustrating game. And, you know, we came out with a win, which always is a bonus. But we're going to have to definitely get better as a team if we want to. You know, like I was telling our players these last couple of weeks, if you want to reach your end goal, you know what, and get there, we're going to have to get locked in and go to work. And you know, we're just playing, in my opinion, undisciplined football on the offensive side. You know, and that's typically what Franklin football does not do. We're usually pretty disciplined, and we play football pretty disciplined, and you know, it's just kind of, I don't know, these last few weeks have been frustrating, and we've had a really good, you know, we were open last week. I felt like we had a very good, I want to say a come to Jesus meeting, and we were kind of locked in and very, very, very businesslike all week last week, and we had a really good bye week, and it wasn't a typical bye week. You know, typically you want to try to go light and try to heal some bumps and bruises and stuff, but it was like the very first week of practice out there. You know, we were getting after it and trying to work on the things we needed to work on. So I feel like we're ready to go. We'll find out tomorrow night.
So I'm asking this, and I don't even know if you know the actual answer, but why do you think y'all have had this run of penalties and turnovers?
You know, I really don't know, Terry. I know, you know, we got a few new guys up front,
mm-hmm.
But it's really not those guys that are really. I can't really zero in on one guy that's doing it. It's just kind of everybody. You know, it's just I don't know that answer. You know, I really don't know. I don't know if they're just going out there and just kind of going through the motions and not really locked in. Or I don't know. You know, my wheels have been turning. Me and my coaching staff have been turning for the last, you know, several weeks trying to figure it out. And, you know, so hopefully we're clicking again come Friday, and we'll see what happens.
All right, let's talk Friday. You're taking on a Troy team that's 4-3, but as a testament to how good this district is, the Troy Trojans are not a bad football team. When you look at the film, what are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, Coach Brashear is doing a really good job with that group of kids. You know, it's a total different team from last year. You know, even the style of offense. You know, they last year they were more running the football. They like to run the football a little more than passing. This year they like to spread it out and throw the ball all over the field. Their quarterback is a pretty good quarterback. He can sling it, got a good arm, got a couple good receivers that, you know, that you can tell that they spend a lot of time on timing routes and throwing the ball in Troy right now. And it shows. So we're going to have to come out and play well. And, to be able to come out with a win, because if we don't, they're a team that can definitely slip up and beat you.
Defensively, what do they do that you think could give y'all some issues?
Yeah, they those kids play hard. He's got them playing hard, and they're high effort. So, if our effort right now as a whole is pretty good. Our effort, our execution, our kids, doing the right, other than the penalties, our effort, that's not an issue right now. It's just these penalties and turnovers are killing us. And if we continue to do that, we're going to end up getting beat and it's not going to be because of effort or execution. I promise you, it's going to be because of those two things.
And that's, again, that goes back to the weird thing of trying to pinpoint it, because usually when you have turnovers and penalties, effort comes into play, but y'all are still playing just as hard. It's just making mistakes at certain times.
Yeah, and I think we're trying to, I really don't harp on turnovers because I don't really want kids thinking about it all the time. If I see a problem when one person's doing it over and over and over, then I'll we'll mention it and talk about it. But it's not just one person. We got, several players putting the ball on the ground, and I just don't really like them thinking about it. We do drills in practice, and we do a lot of stuff and really emphasize these last couple of weeks on it. But it's just something that, you just hope that, it gets fixed and they're a little bit more locked in, and then just kind of maybe going through the motions.
Well, and I was going to ask you, you and I, we know how good Rockdale is, and we know where Troy is, and even a McGregor. Your players, though, y'all, especially this senior class, they've played in so many big games against so many, great teams. Do you think maybe it might be looking ahead a little too much at times?
It is, and we've talked about that all the time, and we've talked about it on the show. Their target on their back gets bigger and bigger every week, and every team is out to beat them. And you're going to get every team's best every Friday night. I don't care who you're playing. And, it's just something that it's just constant reminders to these kids about how important practices are, and being able to come to practice and being able to lock in and get, and them knowing that they can get better. That's something that, is kind of tough when you win a lot. These kids get kind of complacent and they kind of think, they're kids. They're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, that they get kind of complacent, and it's kind of like, oh, man, I don't have to really get better. Yeah. I'm already pretty good, but it's just something as a coaching staff, we really got to constantly harp to these guys. You better come to practice, and when you come to practice, you better have a growing mindset of if you can get better. And that's something that we've really been harping on these last couple of weeks is getting an actually productive practice, and everybody having the same mindset of a growing mindset of every individual person getting better. So we'll see. I'm shaking to kick off on 7:30 on Friday night in Troy, and just kind of seeing where we're standing right now.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie, and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. Now, you can't tell me after hearing that you're not ready to go play some football yourself. I think Franklin's going to come out of the gates strong this week. Going to be a good matchup. Troy's a good team. By the way, if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, you can email me, Terry at S2SSport.com. It can be for the show. It could be 3A. Just say, hey, it's for 3A. And again, here in a couple weeks, Grant Goodwin and I will be down in Franklin to watch the Little River Academy versus Franklin. We were going to go to the Lorena one, but we've seen Lorena. And so our thing is we, we want to see good games, but we're trying to get gauges and calibrations on the playoff teams. And so to see Franklin against another team, Little River Academy, that I think could play for a while, it's going to be really tough. Simply because of who the first round opponent is, there's going to be multiple really good teams that could be region threats, no lie, sitting at home. And so that's why we want to go to that game so we can get kind of a calibration, not only on Franklin, we feel good about where we know Franklin is, but on Little River Academy, that quarterback, that offense, and that defense is very underrated. But anyway, let's see what Franklin does this week, and we'll talk about it next week right here on the Small Town Society Franklin Football Show with a special thanks to Walter Commander right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.